Hey, welcome. Today we're going to make some little buttons out of our gold, and we're going to melt it in the furnace. We got the furnace heating up right now, and what I want to do is make a 1/4 ounce button, and Jim's going to make another couple 1/4 ounce buttons or something, or
5 gram.
5 gram button. And we're going to see how they turn out. So I thought we'd put this on video and show you guys what we're going to do. And so, okay, so we got our scale turned on, and what I want is at least, because we're going to lose like 20%, I want a 1/4 ounce, which is 120 grains. So what I want to do is come up with like, let's say 140 grains plus. You know, if it really is 80%, we're going to find out. So I'm going to pour my gold on here. Okay, what's it say now?
148.
Okay, so I got 148 grains of gold. So that should be more than enough to melt it down into a 1/4 of an ounce. And what we're going to do is basically we want equal parts of gold and lead. So, first of all, pour this back into the case here. And so I'm going to want, 140 or 120 grains, because that gold's pretty clean, so we're not going to have to worry about it. And so we're going to put this much lead on there. What does that say, Jim?
118.
Let's go a little more. And of course, lead, you want to use all your perfect gloves and be toxically safe and all that garbage. How about now?
140.
Okay, so there's our 140 grains, grains of lead that we're looking for that we're going to mix. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this cupel here. I'm going to put all the lead in the bottom. It really doesn't matter where you put the lead, but we're going to put it in the bottom there. Let's see just how much room we have left. Yeah, that should work fine. And then we're going to take this gold and pour it over the top. And when it all gets done, it's going to melt down into a little button. And then we'll have gold that we can sell that's been purified. And what I mean by purified is it's still going to have the silver and the basically the non-ferrous, the platinum metals and that kind of stuff in there. It's not going to have copper or anything that will oxidize, because the lead is going to melt and turn into what now?
Oh, it's lead 2 oxide or lead 4 oxide.
Yeah.
Form a glass on the surface.
So what's going to happen here is the gold is going to go to the bottom and form a nice little button that we can make into a coin or whatever, just sell it as is what I usually do. And then the lead, what's going to happen to it, it's going to become molten and basically volatilized, and it's going to get soaked into the cupel. Some of it, is going to, smoke up, and go from there, but most of it's going to go into the cupel, and we're just going to be left with a nice clean button. So what you want to do is make sure, because there's going to be some fumes coming off the lead and stuff, and from whatever impurities is in the gold, is we want to do it outside. So I've got the furnace out there, it's heating up. We're going to go out there next, and we're going to let it cook for a couple hours. Okay, so now we got our 2 cupels in there. As you can see, it's orange hot. And we're going to wait a couple hours. We'll come back up here and take them out. We should have 2 gold buttons ready to go. Hopefully mine will be a 1/4 ounce or really close. So what's going to happen in here is the lead is going to melt first, then it's going to mix with the gold. It's become one solution, and then the lead's just going to dissipate into the cupel, and it's going to burn off. There's another look at it real quick. Okay, go ahead and close her. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Let's see if what we can come up with.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's still smoke coming off there, so...
Yeah, there's smoke coming off of yours. Mine looks pretty clean.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, we got a little bit more time on his. Looks like mine's done.
Just leave it in there.
But we're just going to let it sit in there till dark. And we got a couple more cupels to do, so his will be done, and if not, we'll put some more lead in there and let it go some more. So, anyway, that's just checking in. Okay, it's about 20 to 5. So it's been out here for plenty of time. We're going to go ahead and pull mine out. And we set this 2x4 up over here so that it would be safe and out of the way, you know, and I can just pull the cupel out and put it right over there without any problem. Because we really don't want anything to catch fire. I mean, I should have stone or something here to be able to do this, but we're going to use the wood and it should work okay. It is bright orange, that's for sure. And that's it. We're going to have our gold here in a second, let it cool down. And get these gloves off here. And let's just run this right on over there. And take a look at it and see how she looks straight out of the oven. Well, it sure didn't catch fire, did it? Look how fast that burns. Stuff's pretty hot, huh? Yeah, there's extra gold didn't go in, so yeah, just have to see how much it weighs and see what came out. But we got a little button of gold. Okay, we got total darkness here. It's like 7:30, and we're just going to open this door up and see how it looks when we open it up in complete darkness.
Oh, it's still got some shit coming out.
Still got some smoke coming out of that stuff.
If it's smoking, what does that mean?
It's just probably just some metal oxides.
White hot. Well, we're going to add one more cupel to it here in a minute. Go ahead and close the door, Jimmy. We're good enough for now.
Let them cool down.
Okay, we got round 2 we just pulled out. Then we got 2 more cupels in there to do, so we'll end up having done, what, 4, 5, 7? 6 or 7 today?
I think that's the 5th.
A lot of buttons. We got some small buttons we're making now. I'm just making a 68 grain button. And because I just want like 1/8 of an ounce to see what we can do on that. And then looks like he's got maybe a 16th in the one, and I don't know, he's got a lot in the other one. So.
Yeah, that other one's like full.
Okay, yeah, so one's like a 1/2 ounce. This one on the right's like a 1/2 ounce right there.
Yeah, this one's nice and shiny on the outside.
Yeah,
this
that
one's
looks good.
Like flattened. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
That one might. Does it look like it need more time? See, that one turned out perfect.
This one?
That one's perfect.
Yeah.
See, we got that one there. Shine your light back on the other one. That's
one?
a perfect button right there. That's what we're looking for. Now that's a miner's button right there.
Yeah, because there's an excess of lead in there.
Yeah, you need a little bit more lead, so that's good.
That
So you
is
can
a
see
good
how.
one.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's what we're looking for.
That nice
Making some
round-
nice miner's buttons.
Yeah, that was 60 grains, so that's 1/8
Cool.
an ounce.
Yeah, everybody I've ever brought down here to do this always gets the fever after you see the color in the thing.
Yeah, we always get the gold. Always. I'm down here today. It's me and Jim and a buddy of ours, Scott Robbins. We're down here mining again, and you can see the sluice in the background. And I'm going to take you out there and show you what's in the sluice. He's got a bunch of gold, and this is Scott's right here. And I took the DFS down there and did pretty good with that. And Jim's over there with another Keen. And thank you. Well, actually, let me see that again. I'll do a close-up of it. There's a better shot of Scott's gold that he's got. So we're doing pretty good. This is from this week, right? So yeah, he's been down here for a few hours each day, just having fun. And so here's what it has in the head of the sluice box. Lots of gold in there. And that's about 4 hours maybe, you know, give or take. And of course that's not counting what's down there in the riffles. But we're down here at the Bear River again, and you know how it is. Down here it's just fine city. Right here. So Jimmy's down there. Clean up some more buckets. Oh, I don't even know what time it is. But it's sun's going down, and we had some fun. We got some gold down here. He's got his Keen sluice box in the water, and I definitely wanted to show that. Pardon me, I forgot I was zoomed out a little bit. That's better. So we did pretty good. When we come down to the Bear River, you know, we always get gold. It's like when you come down here, and this is just out of Colfax, it's a hot spot for, you know, beginning miners and even locals and people like me who've been, you know, mining for my whole life. It's a good place to come down, just have some fun. You always get gold. You saw what Scott had. I mean, that was, you know, 4 hours. You know, and that was just what was stuck in the top of his box, not counting what he had down below. And he had all, you know, I'm guessing about 1/8 of an ounce in that vial. And it looked pretty good, you know. It's gold, and that's the flake that you get here at the Bear. You don't get the nuggets, but oh, you do sometimes. I've actually got a nice little heart-shaped nugget that I got from down here, just upstream about 150 yards from where we're at right here in the campground. It was, you know, that little bank. When you walk down, it used to be a little public area you could park at and walk down on some exposed bedrock there on the campground side, you know. And I've gone in there year after year after it's flooded and got all kinds of gold out of here. And so yeah, and I can see it from right here. And like I said, I'm maybe 150 yards down from that spot. I'm right here standing in the campground right now. I'll pan around. Zoom in first and not make you too seasick. So here we are right here in the campground. And we did good. You know, we did just fine today. And, you know, we made those buttons. Jimmy, he got, I think, 5 miners buttons he made. He may have had a lot more gold to melt down than I did. I just had that little bit, so I get 140 grains I put in that first one. When it came out, it was 138 grains. So there wasn't a whole lot taken out of that. It's pretty good gold. I mean, I was expecting more of a loss, but that was not, you know, that had already been cleaned once, and I took all the impurities out of it for the most part. And we're going to take a look at those buttons. And you know, the little oven that I got, it was the first time we used it, so we didn't really know what was going on. It wasn't quite hot enough to get the perfect little button out of it, you know, where it's got the sheen on it, like I'll show you right here. But that's okay, you know. And those buttons there were also, a lot of the gold in those two buttons that you just saw are from down here also. And those were both 1 ounce buttons a piece, where this little kiln, I mean this little oven, you know, and we had those little cupels, and ended up doing maybe 1/8 of an ounce was about the right amount of gold for those cupels. Any more than that, and it didn't turn out right. So you got the first button that I made, you know, with the bigger one, didn't get quite as nice. The second one made it smaller. I used 3 times the amount of lead on it, and it worked out really good. Didn't use any flux or anything, because we're just melting little miners buttons, you know, so we can stack them up and sell them all later, you know, and that's the whole point. When we sell our gold, we got 2 choices. We can make some nice miners buttons out of it in a regular big furnace like we do, like you saw in those buttons, the real nice and shiny ones. We'll sell them on eBay, you know, or, you know, depending on how much the price is going for on eBay, if they're going to pay a little less than spot price, I can get spot price from any refinery, and they pay me for the silver that's in the gold and whatever else is mixed with it also. So when I get my gold, I melt it in those little buttons, and then I go ahead and I try selling on eBay, and I've never not sold the gold on eBay that I put on there for what I wanted. I put a minimum on it, you know, and for the fine little buttons, I just put spot price, and if nobody buys it, then off it goes to the refinery, or it just goes into the the lock box, whatever you call it, safe deposit box down at the bank with the other ones. And when I, you know, get a pound or so, I just send it in there, and they send me a check basically for a pound of gold or whatever it is I send to them, without even taking any money out. So I wait for when the gold's high, and then I send it in, and that's how we make our money, man. And now that I'm full-time gold mining, you know, pay attention. We'll be making a lot more movies. We'll be getting a lot more gold, and you'll be seeing a lot of it right here on Reed Lucan's channel. And you know, I like making the smaller buttons, you know, because that's the way I can just sell them on eBay. And so these are just little miners buttons. And what we decided to do is, it needs a couple hundred more degrees to really get what we're looking for. The only button we did have really come out halfway decent was Jim's. And, you know, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just cut the amount of heating space in half, because we're just using the small crucibles. So we're not going to be, I mean, the small cupels. We're not going to be using, you know, crucibles for fire assays, so we don't need to have that 6-inch gap. We'll just go ahead and put some fire brick in there and, you know, cut it in half and probably get another 300 degrees out of it, which would be more than enough. So there you go. 50 grains for that one. So you're looking a little bit less than 1/8 of an ounce on this one. But so anyway, you know, this is, I just wanted to show you the buttons all together. Might as well do that too. We have his 2 buttons here. He had just that one turned out, and then we got the 2 that I made, and we had a few more buttons too, but he took those home with him, and you know, to show his wife, because we couldn't leave them all here, so he just left me the one nice one we got out of there, and then, you know, these other ones that we made. And you know, basically we want to just make these buttons so we can sell them and get our money back. We can always get our money back from the refinery, but there's also other people out there that want to you know, buy gold, like off of eBay or some of the other websites. So what I do is make mine small enough, 1/8 of an ounce, 1/4 of an ounce, to where I can sell them to people that want them. And pretty much I don't even have to go on the internet. I get people around here that just want to buy them right now, you know, when I have them turn out good, like this one here. And this is the idea, is to, you know, this is what we're looking for, is this one right here. Nice smooth sides, and just like the pictures that I showed you, some of our other ones that we did in a different oven. So yeah, we're going to make some adjustments to that oven. I also have a propane oven too, but you know, it's really hard to control the temperature, and you know, propane will get you up to 4,000 degrees in some points, and we really only need 2,000 degrees. So I remember when gold hit 300 an ounce, I was so happy. I was like, yes, finally 300 an ounce. And I sold a 1/4 pound of gold. You know, that's you know, 3 ounces. I think I actually sold 4 ounces. That would have been a third. So, you know, and here it is at 1,600 an ounce. You know, 1,700 right now, I think. and I can get more for that, you know, little bit of gold right now, you know, for just 1 ounce of gold than I got for the whole 3 to 4 ounces of gold that I sold at 300 an ounce. It only brought in, it was $1,000 I think is what I ended up getting for it. And now if I just have 1 ounce, it's almost twice that. So yeah, it's, you know, if you're out there and you don't have a job and you're looking for a way to live, you know, gold mining is a way to go. Especially here in California. You got a sluice box, you got a pan, you got no excuse for not being able to make beans and bacon, you know, and eggs to throw on the table. Aside from the fact you're out here in nature just enjoying life. And, you know, with me, I'm making these movies for you guys. You know, I hope you enjoy.